For years, the most frequent type of question asked on this channel is, what do I consider the greatest games of all time? And that seems like such an easy and tossed around topic. But for me, developing this list has been an extensive and analytical journey through gaming history. These games were carefully scored and selected as the top 10 games that lit a fire in my soul. So grab some healthy cookies, find a comfortable spot on the sofa, and let's finally reveal the FeralInferno Top 10 Video Games of All Time.
Number 10.
The first thing that stands out about Super Mario World is its vibrant color palette. Bright, cheerful visuals with chipper music to match. Super Mario World features a huge overworld, packed with tons of great levels. While it featured less power-ups than its predecessor, Super Mario Bros. 3, it adds power-ups that are easy to use but difficult to master. The Feather Cape is a super unique power-up. You have to learn to fly and keep yourself afloat. The best way I can describe it is you almost feel like being a baby bird, jumping out of the nest, learning to take flight for the very first time. It takes a while, but once you get it, it feels oh so good to soar the airs with that magic cape. Yoshi is a fun addition and adds another dimension to the gameplay. Yoshi can sometimes be an overpowered feature, and Nintendo knew this, and they restricted Yoshi from the fortress levels and certain other levels as well. This is just such a treat to play from start to finish. It's not too easy, not too hard, but it's also not a pushover. It has the right balance of challenge and entertaining platforming action to keep you engaged throughout the entire playthrough.
Number 9.
Mega Man 7's biggest sin is not being Mega Man X, and that's a shame because Mega Man 7 is one of the most beautiful games on the Super Nintendo. The Rush Armor upgrades make for the best use of Rush in the Mega Man series, and it almost makes Mega Man feel a little bit like Mega Man X. The fight with bass and treble is fantastic, and I love that Mega Man finally has a real rival character. Bass is essentially the Vegeta to Mega Man's Goku. The stages are a blast, with plenty of secrets and Easter eggs to uncover. Capcom encouraged the player to revisit stages that can be altered with certain Robot Master powers, like changing the weather in Cloudman's stage, or burning the forest down in Slashman's stage. The bosses are all memorable, with distinct patterns and impressive animations. And that final fight with Wily? Good luck. You're in for one of the most challenging and satisfying boss fights in gaming history.
Number 8.
Super Metroid pushed 16-bit hardware to its limits and showed off what Super Nintendo pixel graphics could really do. The animations and amount of detail in this game is off the charts and an impressive feat even to this very day. The atmospheric soundtrack makes you feel like you are the isolated bounty hunter exploring the ultra-detailed depths and environments of planet Zebes. Once you find your way through each area, you are presented with a massive and memorable boss fight. The gameplay is super tight, with deep mechanics that aren't necessarily easy to use at first, but the game encourages you to use them and get good with them. You only truly begin to master some of these abilities, like the speed booster and touch and go, through subsequent playthroughs that encourages you to replay the game over and over again to get new personal best completion times. Packed with secret areas upon secret areas, and the abilities you acquire help keep the journey feeling fresh through your trek to recover the Metroid hatchling.
Number 7.
Has there ever been a more anticipated game than The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time? Back in the mid-90s, we all patiently dreamt of the day we could play as a 3D Link in a vast Hyrule. And what Zelda 64 became did not disappoint. The advent of 3D polygonal graphics brought Link, Zelda, and Ganon alive in a vast Hyrule, and the world design just felt so good. The music, as usual with a Zelda title, is on point. From Hyrule Field to Kokori Forest to the battle music. Every track fits every environment and situation you are thrown into. Ocarina of Time has some of the most immersive dungeons in the Zelda series. These dungeons have massive bosses that all have fun and creative ways to defeat them. And while it gets a bad rap, the Water Temple is actually an awesome challenge to navigate. Z targeting admittedly has aged a bit since 1998, but this was a groundbreaking feature and revolutionized 3D combat going forward. Fighting the Stelphos Knights in Ocarina is still one of my favorite things in a Zelda game. The bosses range from tactical to the gigantic bruisers, each with their own unique weakness to exploit. The 100 Skulltula Collectathon side quest was added to give players more reason to search every nook and cranny of the land of Hyrule, boosting replayability and gameplay time for those seeking just a little bit more adventure. The story isn't going to hold a candle to some of the major RPGs out there, but it's just enough so that it doesn't break you too far away from exploration and combat. But what is there will still live in your heart fondly for the rest of your gaming days.
Number 6.
Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo immediately hits you in the face with great 2D run-and-gun platforming action, with fantastic stage design that incorporates new exploration elements, secrets to uncover, detailed graphics, and a rockin' soundtrack that will melt your eardrums into a pile of cybernetic plasma. While fairly short in the number of overall levels, the stage design is perfect in almost every level, and without a doubt the most balanced gameplay in a Mega Man game. The bosses are all fun to play against with discernible patterns and weaknesses that don't completely overpower them, but it still feels like the weaknesses make a big difference. The feeling of being helpless in the beginning is so well executed, and after all the cool equipment upgrades, heart tanks, and maverick powers are obtained, you feel unstoppable. Well, that is until you reach Sigma's final form anyways. X was an amazing evolution from the classic Mega Man, and the addition of Zero, who was an even better evolution of Proto Man, really just made this game shine. This isn't just the best Mega Man game in the X series, not just the best Mega Man game in the entire Mega Man series, this is the best 2D action platformer of all time.
Number 5.
Chrono Trigger is the uncanny love child of the JRPG Dream Team. Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, Yuji Horii, the creator of Dragon Quest, and the legendary Akira Toriyama, the character designer of Dragon Quest and Dragon Ball. The vibrant, colorful pixel graphics, along with the iconic character design, really helped bring this game to life late into the SNES lifecycle. And with the exception of one weak track, the entire soundtrack is off the charts and evokes so much emotion to each scene. It's a fun, mostly linear story that allows the player to time travel. The story never takes itself too seriously, but at the same time is complete with loads of character development. By the end of the game, you'll be itching for more and be sad that you have to say goodbye to all these wonderful characters that you just met. But you won't have to wait too long to meet again. Though relatively easy and shorter than most JRPGs, the game has limited fluff and features about a dozen endings that heavily encourages replaying the game numerous times to try to find each and every conclusion. During each playthrough, a simple but deep battle system keeps the game entertaining throughout this most excellent adventure through time. Especially with the combo attacks you can perform with other characters like the X-Strike and Arc Impulse. There is a reason why Chrono Trigger is held in such high regard, and the praise is well deserved.
Number 4.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is proof that a masterpiece doesn't always need to have groundbreaking graphics. Where A Link to the Past truly shines is in the gameplay department. Everything just feels so crisp and intuitive. You always feel like you're in complete control of Link. No crappy camera angles or Z-targeting mix-ups to worry about here. This is Zelda action at its finest. This grand adventure features a series-high 12 dungeons that are scattered across 2 mirrored world maps. Each dungeon is packed with fun puzzles and challenges. Each dungeon boss requires a different strategy to come out on top, and there is always a sense of accomplishment when you conquer each one of them for the very first time. And every labyrinth always features a useful item or a piece of equipment to find. And A Link to the Past is filled to the brim with items. With 20 unique items and 7 types of equipment, A Link to the Past is unmatched when it comes to item usefulness and variety. There are plenty of Easter eggs and combos to discover with the inventory. My favorite combo is using the Ether Medallion to freeze mobs of enemies and then crushing their icy bodies with the magic hammer and watching them crumble to dust. Not only does this satisfactorily one-shot enemies, but it also typically yields magic refills. This means that you essentially have reliable and constant fuel for this screen-clearing attack. And the soundtrack is crazy good. The Dark World theme, to this day, is one of my favorite tunes in a video game. The sound design is perfect. You feel the weight of Link's sword and the impact of every action with the immersive and powerful sound effects. A Link to the Past is truly a game that only comes around once in a lifetime, and I can say with the utmost confidence that Nintendo aced this one.
Number 3.
Known initially in the West as Final Fantasy III, Final Fantasy VI is a tale of 2 sides of a coin. While Final Fantasy VI's Western numbering may be a little confusing, its non-stop roller coaster ride of a story on the first half of the game more than makes up for a little bit of title confusion. And if linear storytelling isn't your style, the second half of the game features an open-ended world to explore. This story features a huge ensemble of characters, all with their own backstory and reason for fighting. Some with heavier and some with lighter reasons than others. While Terra is the game's poster girl and face of the game, multiple characters take the lead role throughout the story. One of the most memorable and famous events comes from the opera scene. It was such a unique and exciting addition to a JRPG at the time. A world-class soundtrack with song after song that will thrill you until the very end. Each song is masterfully applied to every story event. Fun abilities in Final Fantasy VI allow you to play the way you want. Each character has a unique ability such as Edgar's Tools command, Sabin's Street Fighter-like blitz moves, and Celis's magic-absorbing runic skill. Each character has something useful to add to the battle effort. Additionally, the game introduces the magic learning stones known as Magicite. This allows all of the main cast to learn magical spells. Though, truthfully, it always kind of bothered me that any character could learn and use magic. It made all of the characters feel so samey and blended together by the end. So, during my most recent playthrough of Final Fantasy VI that I live streamed here on the channel, I only used magic with characters who naturally, or it made sense that they could use magic. So, only the 3 ladies and the old man were my magic users. That made for an even better, challenging, and unique experience during that run. The fact I can still find new and exciting ways to play this game 30 years later is a testament to how deep Final Fantasy VI truly is.
Number 2.
Back in the 80s and early 90s, RPGs were primarily games that focused on dungeon crawling, level grinding, and equipment optimization. Deep characters that you cared about and stories that would grip you just weren't on the menu. All that changed with Final Fantasy IV. While the story isn't the huge epic that most RPGs sport these days, there is a certain charm in the story that is difficult to replicate. While I enjoyed the story and characters immensely back when I first played Final Fantasy IV as Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo in the 90s, it wasn't until the 3D remake came out on the Nintendo DS in 2008 that the characters truly came alive. The chibi 3D modeling and fabulous voice acting enhanced the experience and allowed us to fall in love with these characters all over again. From Cecil's road to redemption, to Kane's struggle with his inner demons, to the growth and development of Rydia, these story events were genuinely special in the 3D remake. The music is amazing and hits you right in the nostalgia feels. Each song is memorable and comes packed with an emotional charge that brings each scene alive. When you go up against a boss or the 4 elemental fiends, you feel the tremendous weight of the battle that is about to commence. Final Fantasy IV introduced the active time battle system that revolutionized turn-based combat. The added special abilities each character possessed also helped differentiate each character in battle. Kane's jump hits for extra damage in exchange for a longer and off-screen wait time. Young can focus his energy several times over for a vastly more powerful blow. And even Edward has his singing ability for extra party support and status effects. The 3D remake introduced augment skills that allow you to use former party member abilities. One of the coolest augments was Palm Emporium's Twincast ability. Mixing and matching Twincast and certain characters allows you to cast new and unique spells like Ultima with Cecil and Rosa. While Final Fantasy IV 3D Remake is my favorite iteration of the game, no matter what version of Final Fantasy IV that I play, I always come out of each experience knowing I just had the privilege of playing one of the greatest games of all time.
Number 1.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is the FeralInferno #1 game of all time, and for many tremendous reasons. For starters, Xenoblade 2 features the most effective and strongest character development for a main cast in any game I've ever had the pleasure of playing. In addition to the strong character design, this is a game that features a massive adventure with intense storytelling spanning well over 100 hours, complete with wonderful voice acting. You'll be on the edge of your seat with each and every chapter of this story. You'll laugh, you'll be tense, you'll have adrenaline pumping through your veins. You may even shed a tear or two. We played Xenoblade 2 live on the channel, and there wasn't a dry eye in the live chat during the ending for our final stream. While one of the greatest narratives ever told, Xenoblade 2 has much more to offer than just its story and characters. The visuals really make each explorative area stand out. From the green-covered plains of Gormat, to the desert waste of Morordain, to the snow-capped land of Tanto. Each area is distinct, and you can feel the various types of climates occurring at each Titan. The music is perfect, and is my favorite OST, not just out of all video games, but my favorite OST out of any media. Every track fits all of the diverse environments along with a calmer nighttime version of each song. The battle themes and the action-packed story scenes have adrenaline-pumping music. After every playthrough, I'm always humming tunes from this game until my next playthrough session. Another area Xenoblade 2 excels is its deep, frantic battle system. There are many types of RPG battle systems out there. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is what I'd call a hybrid RPG. It's a battle system that combines elements from both the active time battle, menu-based system, and action RPGs. It's always satisfying to build up your meters and hit a devastating level 4 attack. The best way I can describe Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is it's kind of like playing anime, the video game. This was an extremely special experience that will always be close to my heart and deserves the top spot on this list. So yeah, those were the FeralInferno top 10 video games of all time. Let us know down in the comments below what your top 10 video games of all time are. Thanks so much, take care, and we'll see ya on the next one.